Jennifer Thomas. I'm the marketing manager with the Macon CDB, and we have three great speakers today. We're going to start off with Katie Kristoff. Katie, why don't you just give us a brief blurb of what you're going to take them through?
Sure. So we're going to talk about social media strategy and just a little bit about what Explore Georgia is doing and why we're doing the things we're doing. I started in November. Kevin brought me on so that Parker and I can work together to put more of a strategic focus on what we're doing on social media. I have 5 years of experience on the agency side, but I'm brand new to tourism, so I'm really excited to meet y'all and learn more about Macon.
So as she mentioned, Parker Whitby's also here with us, and she and Katie are the power force behind social media for the tourism division of the state of Georgia. And then in the back we have Lindsay Isaac. If you just want to give a brief blurb about what you do for the state.
I'm the content manager for Explore Georgia, and so I work with our bloggers and our partners to post information to Explore Georgia for all the travelers who are coming and looking for things to do and places to stay around the state. So I'll be talking to y'all about how y'all can participate in exploregeorgia.org.
So we're going to go ahead and kick things off with Katie.
We're going to start. So for this presentation, we're going to talk about interactive / digital marketing. When I say interactive marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing, it's all kind of the same thing. And you're going to be able to apply the basic principles of digital marketing. We're going to talk about content, attention-grabbing content that you can create for your audience, how to promote that attention-grabbing content that you've created, understanding if your strategy is working or not, and then how to plug into Georgia's 2016 marketing efforts. And Lindsay will hit on that. So first, what is interactive digital marketing? The basics are very similar to regular marketing. We're just in the digital realm. And it's the process of identifying your audience, articulating the unique offerings that you have that no one else can provide to your audience, and then executing on the opportunities that you can find with your audience. There's just some really quick facts. More than 87% of all searches related to travel start online. When we look at the buying process for travelers, what we see is the inspiration part is first. So people are seeing photos and ideas and inspiration on social media. And once they kind of have an idea of when they want to take a vacation or maybe kind of where they want to go, they'll start looking into the actual research process. And so that comes with searching online, and the majority of that takes place there. 83% of travelers use social media to find inspiration, and 77% will use their smartphone for traveling inspiration during snacking moments. And when we talk about snacking moments, we're like talking about commute to and from work if they're not driving, hopefully if they're not driving, or when they're waiting in line to get coffee or a breakfast sandwich, or at lunch, or when they just need a break. 3 o'clock rolls around and we all get that sugar, that low blood sugar, and so those are the kind of snacking moments that we're talking about. So what is Explore Georgia's digital strategy? Well, if you are familiar with marketgeorgia.org, we have our FY16 marketing plan on there, and social media and content is just one part of the overall marketing strategy. So you want to make sure that your goals for social media align with the general marketing goals that you have for your attraction or your destination. And so these align with the 5 goals in that marketing plan. And Lindsay will talk more about it, but you can find all of these resources on marketgeorgia.org, and they're available to you as a partner. And you can download them and you can use them as a template for yours if you don't have a marketing plan or you need some help just to see what the state does. So these are our 5 goals: increasing awareness of tourism, that's going to take place mainly online, creating a memorable connection, that's where social media comes into play, increasing impressions and engagement, again, we're talking about social media mainly, but also on the website. How long are they staying on our website? How many pages are they looking at? Are they delving further than just the home page? Of course, we want to drive incremental spending, and we want to increase our annual tourism. You know, marketing is all about the bottom line. You want to increase the money that, or the revenue and the profit that you're making. So as part of that marketing plan, we've identified 3 main target audiences for the state of Georgia. And I have brought the 2014 tourism region visitor profile for the historic heartland, which is your region. And this is where this information is, thank you, is where we got the data for the state overall. And you can use this packet to determine your regional demographics if you don't already have your own source of information, whether it's, you know, a sales database or a survey that you give out to people who are visiting your attraction. So with that data in mind, we created these three profiles. Our primary profile is the family traveler. And when you look at the family unit, the family traveler, the mother is usually the one to make the plans, to determine the budget, determine the time, determine where they're going, put together the itinerary. They're kind of the tour operator, if you will. And this is all based on 2014 data. We just recently got in some 2015 data. So we're looking to update these and to be a little bit more specific. I mean, when you're looking at Jennifer and we're saying that her age is 18 to 45, that's 3 generations of women. And those 3 generations do act very differently. And so with this new data that we got for 2015, we're looking to focus it in more. And so when we do create those profiles, you'll have access to that information on marketgeorgia.org. But when we take into consideration just kind of how the family unit works together, and you see that the mom is the one making the travel decisions, you're looking at ways to connect with that person online. So take into consideration some of their key characteristics and where they are on social media. Generally, a family traveler looks to plan their travel at least 2 months in advance. You always know if the kids are in school when they're going to have those opportunities to travel, spring break, winter break, during the summer, or they may look for a long weekend getaway if they have a Friday or a Monday off. They generally, the family traveler is undecided when they start planning where they go, mostly because they know when they're going to travel. They know that they have those breaks. And so then it's up to them to decide where they're going to travel during that break. So this is a great opportunity for Georgia, if they don't already have a place in mind, to inspire them on social media with the unique offerings that we have to get them to think of us as an option. For them, their children's preferences are high influence on their travel decisions. So think of the offerings that you have that can appeal to children. Whether it's a kid-friendly place to stay in your area or near your attraction, or just the kid-friendly offerings that you have in your own attraction. And then generally this audience is on Facebook and Pinterest. Facebook has a slightly older audience, more family-friendly audience, and Pinterest is the same way. Pinterest is a pinning platform where people can get it's made for inspiration. And so Pinterest is really great to target that audience. Our secondary profile is the young and the free. They're generally a little bit younger, generally single or newly partnered, and they usually do not have, or they don't have children, because if they did, they'd be a family traveler. So they're looking for a little bit more of an adventure. Even when we see travelers around this age say that they're looking for a relaxing getaway weekend, they're still looking for something active to do as part of that. So whether it's a hiking trail or water adventures or shopping or nightlife, nightlife is big with this audience. So if you have any offerings or any partners or anything in the area that could bring them in as part of a way to round out their travel, that's something that you can look to if you want to attract this audience. The young and the free, they use their mobile devices a lot. They are more likely than any other target audience to share their experience on social. So So you're going to get a lot of feedback from this audience before, during, and after their travel. So this is a really good way, this audience gives you a really good way to see how people are experiencing your destination better than any other audience that you're going to see online. And they're generally on the newer platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. Video inspiration is huge with this audience. So if you have a lot of video assets that you can share or potentially use in your marketing, I would highly recommend, if this is the audience you're trying to attract, to use those video assets. And then our other secondary profile is the affluent mature. So they're usually empty nesters, maybe retired. They have more of their budget to put towards travel because their kids are no longer in the house. They're no longer supporting their children, so hopefully. So they generally look for a little bit more of a luxury travel experience. So if there is a resort or some sort of luxury aspect of your destination or attraction, this could be one of your target audiences. They do generally spend more because they do have more discretionary income. This audience still uses their mobile devices a lot. So just because they're older doesn't mean that they're not on social media and they're not on their mobile devices. So it's important, if you have a website, to have it be mobile optimized so that you can view it on any device that someone is using. And then they are still on social media. They're on Facebook, and they utilize those online travel agencies a lot. So TripAdvisor, Yelp, review sites are very important for this audience. So if this is your target audience, I would recommend taking a look at your profiles on the different travel agency websites and look for ways to optimize the information there. Make sure that the hours are there and be responsive to negative comments that are on that website, because even if there are negative comments, they're looking more to see how you respond to those negative comments and make the experience better for someone who has a complaint, rather than just looking straight at the complaints. They're looking to see how responsive you are to those. Okay, so a little bit about Explore Georgia. We are on over a dozen social media channels. Now, we probably have like 1.5 more people on our team than you guys do for social media. So we are certainly on more platforms than the regular attraction or small business. These are our 4 primary channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. We are experimenting with Snapchat, and I'll go over a couple of these other ones when we talk about content syndication online. These are 6 explorers. We have 6 now because Glenn Sarbati, sorry, I always say it wrong, has joined us for the Year of Georgia Music. He's our new music explorer, so he's writing about music. This is Jennifer, our culinary explorer, Leslie, our family explorer, Eileen, our festival explorer, Candy is our outdoor explorer, and Sue is our smart travel. She covers budget. So we have a footprint of about 500,000 followers. I think we're actually over that now because we're at 54,000 followers on Instagram. We're 58.
Almost 58, we're 100 people away.
All right, 58.
So if you haven't followed us yet, get on Instagram.
So we reach more than 500,000 people on our different channels, and our explorers extend that reach by about 55,000 people. So we reach a lot of people on our channels, and Lindsay is going to talk about ways that you can integrate with us, and Parker will also tell you how you can get your content on our social media channels to extend your reach. So really quickly, before we get to Lindsay's part, are there any questions about strategy or just digital marketing in general? It's a pretty high-level overview.
Lindsay Isaacs. I'm content manager for exploregeorgia.org, and I work on the website and our bi-monthly email newsletters. I'm also the hands behind marketgeorgia.org, which is the state's industry-focused web portal that Katie mentioned. So I'll be talking a little bit about both of those websites here. And what I'll focus on first is the importance of content in telling your story to capture travelers' attention and help grab them and bring them to your destination. A few ways to think about inspiring travel online and things that Explore Georgia is set up to help you with are these types of content: photos, videos, articles, lists, blogs, social media, and your listings on Explore Georgia. And photos are so important to telling your story. They can really capture somebody's attention and tell them a lot about your destination in a very short amount of time. So Explore Georgia, we redesigned a couple years ago and really made photography and beautiful photography a focus of the website. So think about that as you're working on your own listings and just in your own day-to-day. As you're hosting events at your destination or just trying to grab people's attention, look for those opportunities to take great photography of your place. Like engage your visitors to share their pictures with you so that then you can share those also. Photography is just fantastic, and it's a big part of how we help share the story about traveling around Georgia. I mentioned videos. We've been creating some more videos lately, and we just launched 2 new TV commercials in our drive market. So Jacksonville, Greensboro, South Carolina, and Montgomery are a couple of places where we're advertising on TV for the first time in 10 years. We got, the funding to support that. So you can see those on our website, Explore Georgia, because you won't see them on TV here because we're advertising for travelers.
So exactly, there's over 90 plus social media sites out there, so it's a little overwhelming. And so because of that, we found for tourism that the top 4 are Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter. So today we're just going to focus on those 4. And so to create your strategy and figure out which platforms are best for you, you want to look at what are the most widely used platforms, how does each platform stand out from the rest, and how can you reach your target audience on each site. So let's just start off. So the answers to that will help you figure out which platforms are right for you. So for each one, we're just going to kind of do a little overview quickly. So with Facebook, its primary purpose is to build your brand's loyalty and to show your consumers what your destination is all about. It's where they're going to go to get your information, what events you have going on, and just to look at your videos and pictures to see if they want to come visit you. So what makes it really unique though is it's your ability to drive traffic to your website. It's one of our it is out of all of our social media sites, the #1 traffic driver to our website. And it also, by letting your fans share pictures and videos and stories, it helps you build brand loyalty and credibility on your site. And also, so this was the article that Lindsay was showing earlier, that content that worked really well. So once we did this, over 27,000, from just pushing out on social media, on Facebook, with this one post alone, over 27,000 people clicked on it and went to our website. So that just shows the power of one great piece of content on a great social media site. So just a quick look at a few Facebook demographics when you're thinking about which one is right for you. So over 77% of women are on Facebook, and 73% of people from ages 39 to 49 are on Facebook. So from this, we can see that Facebook is definitely a great and the best place to target that primary audience of family travel, and also targeting towards women. And you can also see that there is a good range of incomes on Facebook, so you can use it to highly target based on the price of your product, how you want to target on Facebook. So a little bit about Twitter. Its main purpose is to share what you've got going on and all your exciting content and news stories in 140 characters or less. So one of the main things that's unique about Twitter is its hashtag community, and so through that usage of hashtag, you could communicate with so many people that even aren't following you yet, because you can grab their attention with those hashtags. And one thing that I think makes Twitter really unique is its trending topics. And so every day, if you go to the left-hand side, it'll always have like what the newest trending topics on Twitter. And that's a great way to engage with people that you aren't connected to yet. So here's just, so every day I just go through and kind of throughout the day check. Friday Feeling's a great one to use. It's usually trending on Fridays. Just everybody's excited to travel, so that's a good one to look out for. Also, there's Travel Tuesday and Music Monday for the Year of Georgia Music. That one's fun too. But just for some different ones, like for example, around Thanksgiving, there was Black Friday in 3 words, which most people were talking about the craziness of shopping and everything on Black Friday. So we used it as an opportunity to say, go hiking instead. And then we gave some hikes to do in Georgia on Thanksgiving break and Thanksgiving. So that one had an extremely high engagement rate just because the people that were going through that hashtag, there was a lot of really funny answers in that one. And then another one that was just another example, just we wanted to inspire our visitors with this one. So if everybody remembers the Powerball craze a few months ago. So we used that just to say I was taking awesome road trip through Georgia and gave a great picture like, oh, I want to go here and take a road trip. So that one was more to inspire people to come if they were going through that trending topic. So a few things about the demographics here is one thing that's really interesting on Twitter is that there are more men than women. So if your destination can be focused more towards men, Twitter is a great platform for you to be on. Also, the user is a little bit younger. You can see here, mainly between 18 to 29. So this is a great place to target that young and free audience if you can. And also, last thing to note is that Twitter's income is a little higher. So if you are a luxury destination, this is another great resource platform for you to use. So one of my personal favorites, Instagram. Its whole purpose for us is to inspire visitors to come to Georgia. So it's the perfect place to talk about that inspiration and motivation like Lindsay was talking about earlier. And one of the main things that makes it so unique is your ability to use that user-generated content. So that means that people have posted for using your hashtag. So we'll look at that a little bit. And so you can use all that content that they send you to repurpose it. Because so people get really excited when their picture is used. So the best thing to do to give you permission to do that is add in your Instagram bio, like use hashtag Explore Georgia to give us permission to repost. And so that way, when people are using your hashtag, you can just go through it, and then you are able to curate content from that for your own page, because then it gets more, you get more engagement if you're using that user-generated content. And this was an example of, these were the top 9 photos from 2015, and every single one of those was a user-generated photo. So that just shows the impact and the power of using that great footage, or photos that they give you. So a little bit about Instagram's demographics. You can note it's a lot younger, so this is a great place to, once again, look at that young and free audience and those millennials. And also one thing that's really interesting here is there's more people in urban areas, and so a lot of urbanites are looking to get out of the city. So if you are a destination that has that kind of unique aspect, Instagram's a great place to target that. But at the same time, people in the cities are also looking for the best of their cities and things that are really unique. So if you have that too, you can kind of use that in both senses of targeting those urban dwellers. So a little bit about Pinterest. So Pinterest is just a visual bookmarking tool, that helps you discover and save creative ideas, and it's a great place for us to share our travel ideas and content. So one thing that makes it great is it is the number 2 traffic driver to our website. And so by creating those boards, you can really inspire your visitors, and you kind of give them a whole overview of everything that you want to do with each of your boards. So a little bit about this demographics, which you guess, Pinterest is mainly women, so it's another great place to just target that family audience and those women, that first profile that Katie was talking about. That's about, yeah, oh yeah, and then one more thing, there's also, you can see that 17% of over 65 plus are on Instagram, so Pinterest. So it's also a place where you could target that affluent traveler and those profiles that Katie was talking about.
So Parker, Pinterest was number 2. What's number 1?
Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
Yeah, definitely traffic. It's crazy how much traffic is delivered to the website. Do you know that number, Katie? The percentage of traffic to the website from Facebook alone?
When we just look at referrals to the website from social media, Facebook is our number 1 referral, and I think it's something like 60% of our traffic from social media comes from Facebook. So it's definitely one of the number 1.
So, first thing to remember is you definitely want to know your audience, know who you're targeting, and you want to remember those key audience demographics. So you want to tailor your destinations page to your consumer base, not on your own personal interest. And so your followers they care about what you can do for them, not the other way around. So remember that when you're tailoring to your audience. You want to do it from your business, from not your own personal interests. So even though some people may think this is true, you definitely don't want to post all day, every day. People will get annoyed if you blow up their news feed and they will unfollow you. So just when you're doing that, looking at your analytics will help, and just figure out those key times that your audiences are online and only post during those times of day. So you definitely don't want to be like everyone else. You want to be original and stand out. And social media is all about taking chances. So try something new and see if it works for your site. You don't know unless you try. We're all about that trial and error. So just help and make your brand stand out from others that are similar to you in your competition.
Parker, do you want to tell them about the experimenting you did with the Facebook timing? Like that 10 o'clock?
Oh yeah, so when we were looking on our Insights page on Facebook, we had been posting from the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. slots, because we thought, if you see the trail, if we post a little bit before, maybe we'll ride that train and keep getting more people. And so the past few weeks instead, we're like, well, let's see what happens when people are already on. So we've been posting it like an 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock spot. And our engagement on Facebook has really extremely gone up, which was kind of surprising because it said the peak time was 9 p.m. And so I guess people are starting that time on there. And so if you haven't done that, try that 8 to 10 p.m. slots and see if they work for you.
How many people did we reach last week?
Yeah, we reached 1 million people last week from changing those times. So it's crazy, and that's like what I'm saying, it's all about trial and error, and just seeing when your followers are active, testing out different things. We found it's easy to do it like when testing stuff, you have to at least give it a week or 2 to try it out before you change it up, because you're not going to be able to tell anything from one day. So stick with that time schedule for a week or 2, and then try a new one the next 2 weeks and kind of see which one worked better with your audiences. So you definitely want to interact with your fans, build on relationships online, just like you would in person. Think of every interaction you have as you're talking to them in person. If you can answer a question on Twitter or a comment on Facebook, reply as soon as you can. They know that, and it's also to help drive traffic to your website. If you can send them a link with more information, that's always a great thing to do. And one thing that we've really started doing is our Facebook fans really like for us to ask them questions. So what do you think is the best so-and-so? So we've started a new series called You Picks. And so we've asked our fans, where's your best place to get boiled peanuts in Georgia? We're about to do one of the best road race you've ever been in. And then So that's also, they are very engaged with those, so that's something to think about testing out too, is just asking your Facebook fans what they think, because we know they all love to tell you their opinion. Okay, so even though you think it might be good to connect with everyone, you don't always have to do that. Before you give someone a follow back, check out their profiles, because you want to think about it is that that's a reflection of your business, is not only who follows you, not really who follows you, but more of who you follow. And so you want to make sure to keep that in mind. So you want to make sure that you're associated with people that are similar to you, and knowing that you would not want to be associated, not your brand would want to be associated with in real life. So don't overuse hashtags. I think this sign says it all. Friends don't let friends use too many hashtags. So hashtags are great for, like we said, engaging in those conversations, but you just don't want to overuse it, especially on Facebook. On Instagram, we know it is that hashtag community is really growing. So what we try to do is in our little comment on the Instagram, we're only going to do like 1 or 2 hashtags, but if we want to connect with other things, we're going to add it in a comment below. That way you can still get the engagement from those hashtags, but when people are scrolling, they're not going to see a bajillion hashtags just kind of blowing up their feed that they don't really care about. They just want to see the image. So you definitely want to keep your brand consistent and keep that same voice and that same view similar across all of your social media channels, and you definitely need to establish that clear vision before you're going in there and setting your strategy. So our best practice guides that you have in your folders will help you if you need any help with establishing that consistency. So, like Lindsay was saying with the content, we can't get enough of visuals. So videos, photos, they all get so much, it's crazy how much engagement those will, and it will boost your like for example on Facebook, if you get a really engaging photo on there, we've noticed that like if we have a blog post before and after, it'll increase that engagement too. So you definitely need, it's always great on those sites just to throw in a great photo, and you can include like a link if you want to on that, but it will help your overall page if you get that engagement up through photos. So just as, for example, we'll go over a few more statistics, but content with relevant images gets 94% more views than the same content without images. So that just proves how important these visuals are. So just to reinforce this, here's a few more importance of visuals. So they increase, retention. So this was interesting. When an information is paired with an image, people retain more of that information 3 days later if it has an image with it. And also people who are like following directions do 323% better with an illustration than without it. So that's even something about like if you're trying to put up a map to your destination or something, maybe make it a little icon, like graphic or something, to help people remember that part of your destination. So they also increase your reach, like we've been saying. So articles with an image once every 75 to 100 words get double the number of social shares than those without images. So that's definitely why Lindsay was saying in those guest blogs that we would love for you to do. If you include those images, it's going to keep the person engaged, and we'll also get more social shares, so that helps everybody out. So here's just a few examples of how visuals have worked for us. So this one is a picture of Cumberland Island. We just used it to inspire visitors to plan their trip, and in the comments we included a link to more about Cumberland Island. But this is also an example of where we used our followers' photos. So they sent us this photo, and so we used that. Always make sure to give them photo credit, and that just was another way to inspire visitors. And so in this tweet, yeah, we can say that Savannah is romantic, but there's no better way to show it than to tell it than to show it. And so what better way with a horse-drawn carriage ride? That looks like a lovely romantic day. And this last one was a blog post, and we just really wanted to make sure the image in the blog post captured that essence of what food festivals in Georgia are like, and we thought this one really did. This one did really well, reaching over at this point, we screenshotted 120, almost 123,000 people. So one thing with blog posts is, especially on Facebook, you want to make sure that it's the full photo and not, sometimes it'll come up as like a little square over here and then the words right here, and you want to make sure you have this larger image. So sometimes it's just easier to even though this image is in the blog post, just upload it on Facebook instead, so you have that larger image that's going to stand out when people are just scrolling on their feeds. So visuals also, just one last thing about them because they're so important. They also increase your engagement by 2 to 3 times more. So that is just, so this one right here, this was a great photo. So this photo reached 1.9 million people and received more than 10,000 likes and almost 15,000 shares. So why did this one image do well? It's because it was at the right time of day. That looks like, everyone there looks like they're having really fun, and it looks unique and different, and it's like, oh, I want to go do that. And so one thing we did here was give a call to action, so make your tubing plans. And that's just something to remember, because that's like, oh yeah, because some people will be like scrolling through, and if they go and click on the link, they'll do it then. They're not going to remember to like go Google it later. So if you can just give them that link and just make it as easy as possible for your fans, that's always a great thing to do. Right, so just a little bit about planning ahead and doing that when you are looking at your social media plan. I'm sorry, my allergies are getting to me, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little scratchy. Okay, so it's really important with especially when you have all that great content, to map it out on your social media sites and kind of have a game plan when looking into that. So knowing what to publish, when and where will highly increase the visibility and reach and engagement of your posts. And the good thing about if you plan out your content, you've still got the flexibility and you can always just reschedule that. So we'll look at a few more elements to a great social media content plan. So we've got 5 things here, and we're just going to run through these quickly and kind of do a little overview of why each is so important to a successful content plan. So here's an example of our content calendar, and yours definitely doesn't have to be this detailed. We just have to keep it this way since we're going over the whole state. We have to keep organized, but this is available on Market Georgia if you want an example of a content calendar. So we just use that to keep up with our, like if you send me an event you have going on in 4 months, I can go ahead and put it on our content calendar so I don't forget about it. And then I know, like looking ahead a month out from that, I need to start promoting that. So the content calendar just really help you keep organized, and especially if you have more than one person that's helping you out. It's a great way for you to work together when you don't have to be sitting next to each other, especially if you just have a quick Google Doc that anyone can pull up and also add ideas to. So this is one of the most important rules to me, I think, is curating your content. So you always want to curate your content so that it is the best reflection of your destination as you can be. So to help this has been extremely helpful for me. I always follow the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the content should just be interesting and engaging to your fans. So that's itineraries, blog posts, photos, all the fun stuff that everyone loves to see. And only 20% of the time should be promotional materials. So when you're thinking about that 20% would be that time to throw in sign up for our newsletter, promotional items, those kind of things. You only want to post those 20% of the time on your social media pages. So you want to get them engaged first, and then every now and then just throw in a quick little pop of what you really want them to do. So, well, many of you might not have time to schedule out your content on like Facebook or Twitter, but if you can, it is a great, great resource, and we highly recommend it. So it allows you to work ahead and go off of your content calendar for all the events and everything that you are doing. And it's another great example is like, let's say this one, if something came up on I need to reschedule this, I can always just push it back and I've got content for the next day. And if you are looking at kind of a schedule, for example, we post twice a day or sometimes 3 times on Facebook. So this is just kind of an example of a schedule that you could follow. And I know that's a lot for someone, so just like we said, pick those few platforms that you really want to work with and start there. So just an example would be 2 posts a day on Facebook, 3 to 5 tweets, 1 post on Instagram, and 1 post on Pinterest. It's something that, you know, just set that goal for yourself and try to maintain it for a few weeks and see how your engagement and your reach can grow. So the last thing, especially in tourism, is seasonality and timeliness. So when you're thinking about that content and scheduling and making that plan for yourself, think about the time of year it is and what events you have going on and what holidays are coming up. So for example, so like they said earlier, Katie or Lindsay said, Georgia leisure travelers plan their trips 2 to 3 months in advance. So that's something to really think about when you're talking about, for example, Memorial Day is coming up. So we started a few weeks ago pushing out our Memorial Day getaways and content and are keeping those going right now. So also if you plan ahead, you can develop your content and really get a strong strategy for your whole year if you can kind of get an overview of what you want to do with that seasonality. Okay, so last thing, how can we help you promote your content on our sites? So these are the things that work really, really well on our site. So if you have any of these photos, I love, love, love great photos.
Sunrises,
Sunrises, sunsets, waterfalls, and if you have any covered bridges, those work really well too. And also things in list form. I mean, these really apply for every tourism destination, but there's things that make our state unique and different. The list forms, anything top 10, 5 reasons to visit, those do so well on social media because it's something that they can quickly, those list forms, they can quickly scroll through, get the information, and then move on. Also, off the beaten path and hidden gems, people love those so much. So if you've got like a unique aspect of your destination that you can take a little spin on and run with it, go for it. And also those deals and specials, because who doesn't love a good deal? So here's just an example of something that happened, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So in Milledgeville, they started a Georgia's Antebellum Trail.
We're part of it, so it's mainly the historic parkland, so it's after the.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Okay, so Bonnie was telling me about
Yes,
it. So that's right. So she emailed me about it and was like, "This is going small page viral. Could either way you could share it." So I was like, "Of course," because this content would do so well on our site. So from just us sharing it one time, it was reached over 52,000 more people just by that one share on Facebook. And they gained over 600 followers that night. So they only had 200.
Yeah, the page has only been around for 6 weeks, so.
Yeah, so you know, if you have any of those things you know, are doing well on your pages, send them to me. And if we can share them and fit them in our schedule, we'd definitely love to, because that was super exciting just for that one post that they got so much more reach and engagement. So if you ever have an event or something special that you really need help promoting with, this is the best way, is to send me an email, there's my email address, with the link for your event or your destination, a high-res photo, and then the dates, because even if it's a few months ahead, like I said, I can go ahead and put it on our content calendar and get it figured out in our schedule. So the earlier the better. That is always helpful. That's another way we can help you promote it. And also the last way we can help you promote it on your destination on social media is that Katie and I love to go around the state and travel and see what all you have to offer. So while we're there, you know, we'll take photos for Facebook, Instagram, tweet, and now that we're on Snapchat too, that our Snapchat is growing daily, so that's something that we're really using while we're out and about.